Okay, Russell Westbrook is a Los Angeles Clipper. So this is not the video I was expecting to make today, in all honesty. I was planning to do an All-Stars only rebuild, but I guess that will have to come next. So you can see Russell Westbrook has just signed to the Los Angeles Clippers. He's moved down the hall to the other locker room. Now, of course, there hasn't been an official roster update. We don't even know what the contract is looking like just yet, but what I had to do was turn off salary cap because he'd only accept 20 million. And then I've gone and edited his contract, obviously turned salary cap back on, but edited his contract basically to match the one the Clippers gave John Wall. So it's 2 years for a total of 11 million. And then after that, we'll see what we want to do. So yeah, this team's looking pretty stacked. We'll just have to push through the rest of the season like this because there's not really any other moves we can make. But with this new big three, I know as a Laker fan, good luck to the other side of LA, but I do still like Russ. I just don't think he was a good fit with us. He should be a better fit over there on the other side of town. And I do think the Clippers have to be one of the favorites to win it all now, especially with this Plumlee pickup as well. Bolsters their center depth a little bit. They still have guys like Norman Powell, Zubac. They picked up Bones as well. So this team's looking really nice. We'll see how far they can go. In my personal opinion, I'd probably still have Denver and probably Memphis ahead of them as well in the West. But you never know. Once you get to the playoffs, Kawhi is a whole different monster. So we will go through, simulate the rest of this season, and any moves that need to be made will come in the off season. So let's see what this team can do as currently constructed. All right, so it looks like we end the season there with around 43 wins. Luka wins MVP as per usual. Paolo Rookie of the Year. Brogdon Sixth Man of the Year. Embiid wins Defensive Player of the Year. I don't see that very often, but that is cool to see. Trey Jones wins Most Improved. Okay, from 6 to 11. 3 to 5. I mean, I guess. I don't know if I completely agree with that. Joe Mazzulla is your Coach of the Year. And it does not look like this team has any All-NBA players. But you can see we do finish as the 5 seed. And as I said, we actually had 44 wins. So I didn't see the last game of the season it cut off. But we do have 44 wins, tied with the Pelicans. But I guess they had the tiebreaker. So you could argue we could have been the 4 seed quite easily. And then over in the East, Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland all have more wins than us. So do actually the Knicks and the Sixers and even the Heat. So maybe the East is a better conference this year. I guess we will find out. Then if we go over to our player stats, it looks like Paul George led us in scoring with 24, followed by Kawhi at 22, 16 for Powell. I want to see Russ's stats. So he technically says he played for Utah, but he did not. So he put up 15, 6, and 7 on 40% from the field, 29% from 3. So pretty good things from Russ, all things considered. Eric Gordon gave us 13, Bones gave us about 11. I think that also includes their previous stint, so it's hard to say exactly how much they gave us. But I think for the playoffs, we will drop this down to a 9-man. So Terrence Mann will be the last guy in the rotation. How long do they want to play the starters? 37, 36, 32, 29. That's good to start with. They actually don't want to start Russ. They want to bring him off the bench and start Bones. I can't do that just because Russ is the key title of this video essentially. But I am happy to play Bones about 25 minutes. He can be our 6th man. Russ can get the rest of it so he can play 30. So let's see what we can do here against the Pels. I'm assuming, go ahead and simulate the play. And I'm assuming they have the same team as they do in real life. They haven't signed anyone else. That would be correct. So let's see what happens in this series. Game 1, we do lose. Ingram has 24. Paul George has 32. Russ has 16, 7, and 5 on 50% shooting and 2 of 3 from 3. So that was not his fault. Game 2, we do tie it up. Beautiful. So it looks like Zion gives us the business that time, 38. Kawhi also has 35. Paul George 33. Russ has 11 and 9. So he's shooting quite efficiently, actually, for Russ. 4 turnovers, but 9 assists. So it is what it is with him. You take what you can get. And then see if we can go up 2 to 1. We do. Awesome. So Kawhi 31, 10, and 5. Paul George 29, 6. Keeping an eye on Russ. He almost has a triple-double on. Pretty good shooting. I mean, especially for Russ. He does like to get him up there. So can we go up 3 to 1? We can't. They tied up. PG does have 36. And there's the sort of Russell Westbrook game I was expecting. 0 points, but 11 assists is nice. 0 for 2 shooting, not quite good enough. Ingram has 30. Okay, so we will change this up a little bit. Terrence Mann, how have you been? 2 points. He has not been good, so we might actually go ahead and take him out of the rotation. Robert Covington, you're up. You can get about 8 minutes. Bones has not been good either, so we'll drop him to about 12. Zubac is always going to be a serviceable backup, and Norman Powell is now our 6th man. He's been elite, so he can stay at about 30 minutes. Russ, so far he's giving us about 10, rounding up for him 5 and 9 on 43, 42 from 3. So he's actually been pretty good. PG's averaging 32. That's elite. Kawhi, I mean, he can shoot the ball a little bit more. So I guess we'll go 40 apiece to these guys. We can keep Russ at about 30. How's Morris been? 35 from 3, 40% from the field. I mean, he's just there to catch and shoot. And then Plumlee. Looks like Zoo's actually been better. So I think I will go ahead and start Zoo. So we'll swap their minutes around. We'll go about 30 there. Then Russ can have the last 2. So let's go ahead and simcast this one. See if we can go up 3-2. All right, so starting off here in New Orleans. Let's see. So we do go down by 10 pretty much immediately at the start of the first, which isn't good, obviously. Going into half, though, we do bring it back. So it's a 5-point game. So still a 5-point game in the third. Let's see what we can do. 64-70. 73. So I don't think we're going to win this one. This seems like one of those games 2K has decided pretty much from the start, unless I can jinx it. No, so they do go ahead and win. I had a feeling that was a game we were never really in. Gave me a bit of false hope. So their 2 best players have 36 apiece. For us, it's Paul George with 35. 21 for Kawhi, almost a 20-point triple-double for us, but not the greatest efficiency in the world. So we are down 3-2, back against the wall. So I'm just going to axe Covington completely in that 9-man spot. Looks like Bones in that last game also wasn't very good. So we're going to drop him to about 8 minutes. Plumlee in that last game had 6 and 8, so that's fine. He can stay at around 20. 16 for Norman in that last game. So we definitely need to play these guys a little bit more. Thankfully, injuries are turned off in this simulation. Otherwise, I don't know how we would be going. Russ, not the greatest efficiency, as I said. How was Morris that game? He was pretty good. So we'll play him about 30, 34 to Russ. And then we can go the last couple of minutes to Zoo. So let's simcast this one. We should be home in LA. Hopefully, we can go ahead and tie it up. Right, so to start the second, we're down by 10. So I don't have a good feeling about this. We do bring it back to within 4. I don't think that this series is going to go our way, unfortunately. All right, so to start the fourth, we do bring it back to within 2. Now I'm just wondering if there is any chance of us actually taking the lead. And it is a 1-point game, so let's slow this down a little bit. 3-point game. Can we score? We can. We do tie it up there, so there's 9 seconds left. Let's jump in. I'm not going to play, but we will watch these last 9 seconds, see what 2K comes up with. This is probably a mistake because I feel like these teams play better in the sim. We don't even have the ball currently, so this might have been a colossal waste of time. We'll see what happens. They get it to CJ. He's guarded by Russ. Look at that, number 0 for the Clips. He just loved LA, man. He gets a good contest there on CJ. We get the board, but it is going to overtime. So let's go ahead and simcast the start of this to see what happens. All right, so jumping back into simcast, we do immediately let them score, which I would like to think our defense is better than that in real life, but we do take the lead there for a minute. We go back down, tied, and they take the lead again. I have a bad feeling about this. We do go up by 2. With a minute left, so we go up there as well. We do technically have a 2-possession game. They do score there, so there's 16 seconds left. Let's go ahead and just see what the AI does. Hopefully they can close this out. They have the ball again, so they just need 1 stop here to win. So they just don't want to allow any threes, and I have a feeling that's what CJ's planning on doing. Also keep an eye on Brandon in the corner there. Josh Richardson is open. Get a contest, PG. Hands up Kawhi. That's a good contest, and no good. It didn't even register, but we do survive. We tie it up 3-3. Let's go, Clip Gang. All right, only the first round, which is a little bit scary, but Paul George in that game has 33. Kawhi has 30. Russ actually has 28 and 13. I'm pretty good efficiency. Not good from 3, but that's fine. We'll take that. 24 and 12 from Zoo. Zion leads them with 27, but it wasn't enough. So if we do win, it looks like we will have Denver. So let's go ahead and just get through this one. All right, back in New Orleans. Off to a good start, up by 6. All right, let's just see if we can hold on to this. Up by 2 going into the second. Up by 6 in the third. All right, they do bring it back. 1-point game halfway through the third. Let's see. Can we just survive? Come on, Clippers. Break the curse, break the curse. It is a tie game with 5 left in the fourth, which is not good. They do take the lead. And it's a 1-point game with 3 minutes left. 3-point game. That might be all she wrote, unfortunately. Yeah, I had a feeling we were never going to win this series. You know, 2K loves the Pelicans, so we do go ahead and lose that one. So you can see Zion had 27. Paul George had 38. So we really got playoff P. That was not his fault whatsoever. So he averaged 34 for that series. Powell gave us 17. Russ in the closeout game, 14 on 6 of 16 shooting, and Kawhi was not good either. So let's just go ahead and see who wins it this year. All right, so the Hawks actually make it out of the East. Trae Young is your East MVP and Steph is your West MVP. So the 2 point guards going against each other, and it looks like Steph is going to win. So he averages 33 in the finals. All right, so going into the offseason, LeBron actually retires in year 1, which you hate to see. Does anyone retire for us? It does not look like it. So we will go ahead and go straight to league meetings. Now the issue is going to be, I don't know exactly how much better we can make this team because they are pretty much pigeonholed into what they have now. Right, so we will pick up the option on everyone except Eric Gordon. He is on a $20 million salary, so if I can re-sign him for less, I will. But I've had him in rebuilds before, and he pretty much falls off a cliff after that first season. All right, so we are actually going to make a trade, giving up some of our depth and a younger player in Amir Coffey with a second to get John Collins. So it looks like he's fallen off a little bit, and Atlanta is ready to move on. They did just go to the finals, but maybe they're thinking they need some more depth to compete next year. So we will go ahead and accept that. It works out for us too because we sort of thin out the rotation but still get a quality player. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We would like to bring back Plumlee if we can, and then also sign a backup wing. Right, so not many options. I think I'll go ahead and grab Stanley Johnson and move him to a small forward. If I can get Eric Gordon for a cheap amount, I would also give him a 1-year minimum just for a bit of depth. And then it would also let me sign Plumlee back. So I would go ahead and give him a 10-5 deal with a team option. And we do get all of those guys, cool. So hopefully that's enough to get us somewhere next year. And I mean, it's letting me sign Cedi Osman as well. So I would give him a 2-year deal worth about 3.5 each. And then I would also sign Derrick Rose to a minimum. So can we get them? We get Derrick Rose. Do we also get Cedi? We do. Cool. So I like that offseason a lot. All right. So the big two regress, which is not fun. Russ actually stays the same, which is all right. You could also argue that the Hawks probably aren't going to make it to the finals this year. Definitely not. So it makes me feel a little bit less guilty about that trade. We'll see if John's even good. All right, so for this season, they want to start Bones, Paul George, Kawhi, Collins, and Zubac. I don't hate that. We have Russ off the bench along with Plumlee, Powell, and Mann. It looks like we have Bruno Fernando, Cedi Osman, and Robert Covington not getting minutes, along with Derrick Rose, Brandon Boston, and Stanley Johnson. So we are quite deep still. So we will go ahead, simulate to the trade deadline, and see if we need to make any other moves. All right, so we were good to start off the season, but as it currently stands, we are in the play-in tournament, not even in the playoffs. So it looks like our offense is not good. We are the 3rd worst in the league, but then our defense is the 3rd best. So we definitely need to upgrade that offense, I would say. So it looks like Bones is putting up 16, which is good. Paul George is putting up 21. Kawhi's only putting up 18, which hurts a little bit. John Collins putting up 14. Russ off the bench is still putting up 14, 5, and 5 on 44% from the field. So he's having a good Russ season. So it looks like the Bulls are shopping Zach LaVine. We're going to see if we can get away with the sneak and not give up sort of any of our major pieces. We are swapping backup centers here. We're giving them Terrence Mann, who's a younger piece, a 2nd and a 1st, along with Cedi Osman. So we'll see if they agree to this. Looks like they're not interested. Okay, so is there anyone else they would prefer? I could do Norman Powell instead. We'll see if they agree to this. They say no. Okay, so they do have a counter here. They would do 2 first-round picks along with Norman Powell for Zach LaVine. So I think that does definitely improve our offense. We'll go ahead and make that trade. So 2 big trades already, not completely unrealistic, ignoring the fact that the Hawks did go to the finals, but we do look much better here. They want to move Paul George to the bench, which I don't think so. So we will go ahead and move Kawhi to a power forward. He does go down, but that's fine. Zach can stay to shooting guard. Paul George can go to a small forward. As Kawhi gets older, he's probably not as spry on the perimeter as he once was anyway. So we're starting Bones, LaVine, Paul George, Kawhi, and Zubac, and then off the bench. Right, and so that means John Collins will be our 6th man, which interesting. We'll see how that goes. Otherwise, we might have to move him in this coming off season. But then we do have Russ backed up by Fernando and Osman. So hopefully, I mean, that should on paper improve our offense. So we'll see how we end the season. Hopefully it doesn't kill our defense too much. All right, so we finished the season 40 and 42. I don't know if we even made the playoffs. So maybe those trades made us worse. In all honesty, I didn't realize we were going to have a logjam. I totally forgot about John Collins. So let's have a look. we do make the play-in tournament, so we are going against the Rockets. We're just going to go ahead and simulate this, and we lose straight away to the Rockets. So maybe those trades were crap, and we'll see what we can do in this coming off season. So you have the Pels and the Cavs in the finals, and the Cavs sweep. Now, the bad news is our star players are also getting older, so this does not get easier. Right, so Kawhi and Paul George declined their player options, which is not good for us. Hopefully they aren't asking for a crazy amount of money. So it looks like they want 40 each, which I guess we're going to have to give them. I'd like to keep Kawhi at 3 years if I can, because he's already 33, but we will go ahead and max him out. And then the same thing with Paul George. So we do get both of them, which is a sigh of relief. It looks like we still have to sign Russ too. Russ still wants 20 million, which is crazy. I would give him 1 for 19, and we do get all 3 of them, which is good. Just kidding, we don't have enough to sign Russ. So the most I can give him is 11 mil. So I think I might do the same thing. I'll turn off salary cap, sign him, and then turn it back on, because that's just totally unrealistic. He's not going to be asking for that much in the next couple of seasons. Right, so hopefully that was not enough time to let the other team sign someone crazy, but I will quickly go in and make sure Russ is only making probably 6 million. Right, and it looks like the John Collins experiment didn't work out, so I'm going to see if the Knicks will take him straight up for Mitchell Robinson. All right, so that didn't work out, but instead we'll give him Bruno Fernando. They're going to give us back Armando Bacot, and we'll give them a second, so you can say that was a failed experiment on my part. And then I will also sign Gallo to a 1-year deal. So hopefully in this last season we can do something. Otherwise the Clipper curse might be real. So Kawhi's down 5, Paul George is down 2, Russ is down 2, Levine's up at least. So this has been tough, man. It has. All right, so the rotation for the third and final season will be Bones, Zach, Paul George, Kawhi, and Mitch, with Zubats off the bench along with Russ. He's fallen to the bench. Jalen McDaniels and Jetty Osman. So we will go and see if we can make something happen. Hopefully the Clipper curse is not real. We start off 1 and 2, 1 and 3. So I'll be back with you guys shortly. Hopefully there's no more moves that need to be made, but we will see. Right, so pretty much everyone has been good. You can see Paul George is still giving us 17, 5 and 4 on 43, 36, 80 splits. Fairly reasonable. Mitch Robinson. But Kawhi has not been good. 14 points, 4 and 4, 40% from the field, 29% from 3. You can see also these other guys, Zubats, Russ has even still been pretty good. So I think, unfortunately, I'm going to have to move Kawhi. And there is one thing I have in mind that makes sense, and that is sending him back to Toronto for Pascal. This would give them a chance to obviously play Scotty at the 4. They can move Kawhi to the 3, and then Jaylen Brown's the 2. That makes more sense, and I think Pascal fits our team a little bit better. They would also need to give us back another player, and then I could give them Brandon Goodwin. So would they agree to that straight up? They don't. I suppose I'll have to throw in some picks because Kawhi is older. So can we get it done with 2 seconds? They still say no. What if I also did Brandon Boston instead? Would they agree to this? They don't. And then I guess I have one more first round pick to throw in. They say no. Okay, we couldn't get that one to go through. So this looks like the Kings are also interested in sort of blowing up their team a little bit, or at least retooling. So would they agree to this if we did Kawhi for Sabonis? I would also throw in Brandon Boston. All right, would they agree to this? They would not. If I load them up with seconds, they still say no. And then what about this pick here in 2029? They still say no. Do they have a counter at least? They don't. Okay, so that one's dead in the water too. I have really pigeonholed myself. I'm not happy with this. All right, well, we're getting a little bit crazy here, but it looks like Miami would do this for Bam and Patrick Williams. So I would go ahead and accept that. And then that means we can also probably move Zubats because we'll have Mitch as a backup center. Okay, then the last move will be Zubats for Malik Monk. Give us a bit of shooting off the bench. So the final look Clippers are going to be Bones Highland, Zach LaVine, Paul George, Patrick Williams, Bam Adebayo, with Mitch Robinson, Malik Monk, Russell Westbrook, and Jalen McDaniels. So hopefully that's enough. I mean, this team, we've already gone through a number of iterations, but I think it's one of the harder teams to rebuild in 2K, especially when those 2 guys start aging. So we will simulate to the end of the season. Hopefully we can at least make the playoffs. All right, so final season, DG wins MVP. I don't think We've even made the playoffs. Let's just have a look. And we did not even make the play-in. So this was a total bust. So it's a Suns-Cavs finals and the Suns win in 5. There you go, Clipper fans. Good luck coming from a Laker fan. Hopefully it works out better for you than it did for us and than it did in this rebuild. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, remember to leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.